Welcome here to the home of youngest Felix champion and Ferrari's biggest fan. As the December and the title decider is here. Welcome here to the final race, introduction to the final race of this 2025 Formula 1 World Championship, which of course takes place as it's traditional ever since the circuit made its way onto the Formula 1 calendar 16 years ago in 2009. It is time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix on the Yas Marina circuit, oh yay! Which now, of course, holds that honor of the only place where I've not only always won, but also always gotten a pole position, always gotten a fastest lap. So here, in this final introduction for this year, but I'm sure, these race introductions are very, very popular. We will keep them going into the new regulations 2026 season. We will tell you everything about this amazing race. Definitely one of our favorites, I would say. It is the second home sweet home, of course, as you do know, the place where you can find, for example, the Ferrari world. And yes, we will tell you just how successful we as Scuderia Ferrari were over here and why it will be a tall order, a huge, maybe one of the biggest challenges to make sure that we don't finish the season winless. If we, of course, don't count that sprint win of Lewis Hamilton in China. We will then take a look, of course, at how the Drivers' Championship is standing up, because there will be a big fight for the first time in 4 years, and we gotta make sure that for the first time in 4 years, again, we don't go winless. But so far, we've never won in Abu Dhabi here at the Yas Marina circuit, which is really strange, given that the Ferrari world is basically, nicely looming there, coloring that circuit in beautiful scarlet red colors in the background. We will then take a look at the Constructors' Championship, which for us is pretty much decided. So obviously for us the main focus will be to make sure that Lewis Hamilton gets that 6th place in the Drivers' Championship. And then we will talk about as me, the fresh 4-time Formula 1 World Champion, how I tried to make the Abu Dhabi obviously my most successful track after obviously Monza, that sadly I haven't won, but where I've still gotten 5 pole positions and 5 fastest laps, but only 4 race wins. Here at Abu Dhabi it's 4 apiece, right? So yeah, we will tell you everything about it with obviously our brand new, very, very handsome haircut. How do you like it? Yes, I think it was really necessary, especially here on the edges. So let me know, how do you like the handsome Jan, the Svalixan champion and Ferrari's biggest fan over here. Also, let me know how you like this Team Pro polo. I think it's really good, especially the fact that this Ferrari logo is not printed. Hopefully it will be very durable as well. That was one of the issues, of course, with the Puma fashion. But yeah, it's nice, shiny, obviously, really good. These Team Pro polos last year and this year, it's a great new addition. I think they are very comfortable. Usually for me, medium. This is medium. I would probably, say large is probably, the best, because, as a champion, you will be very strong. Is, probably the best fit. But yeah, definitely recommend the Ferrari fashion. And we will see, obviously, in 2026. Hopefully that the HP logo will be in red or different color, so that it looks even better. But most importantly, we will get back to the winning ways. So here for the race introduction over here, the final one of the season, I think we can start with some news. And at the time of the recording, it hasn't been decided, but I think we can safely say that Verstappen will be partnered by Hajar and Red Bulls, and I think looks like Lawson and Lindbergh, who only finished, I think he can still finish 5th in the F2 Championship, but obviously Red Bull Jr. taking the place, leaving Yuki Tsunoda out of the F1, which I think is kind of deserved given his performances, but perhaps he can, find the respite as Aston Martin's reserve driver, obviously, with Felipe Drugovich, the 2022 F2 champion, leaving that position. That's probably what's going to happen, and that would then pretty much, and obviously with Cadillac hiring Bottas and Perez, the new team, that will then pretty much finalize that drivers lineup for the 2026 season. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that. Hamilton should continue with Leclerc, and hopefully we will be able with Hamilton to get out of the Q1. That's very alarming, the fact that despite the fact that the car is not very fast, it is a Ferrari, and you should be able to get at least into the Q3 if not on the pole position. There are not that many upgrades. Not many people are obviously carrying the penalties. It will be a title decider. That will be the focus on it. But I think it would be great, if we could break our duck over here and actually go, and win the race. Again, this is also the final kind of the standard Grand Prix weekend. So you will see this race introduction 24 hours before the free practice starts. During the free practice, definitely do check out, that hot lap in F1 24, the best and most fashionable cars. And then with the free practice too, you can see the F1 25, the hot lap. And then for the free practice 3 on Saturday, you will of course see the red hot lap, the fastest one that I've done during the weekend in that concurrent 2024-2024 season. And we will do the qualifying and the Grand Prix at the same time, and after that 24 hours later in this amazing fashion here at the home sweet home, hopefully with the Olympic medal we will be putting and celebrating to the Italian anthem, because we really want to win here, given that this is obviously Ferrari world, that we are talking about. The fact that we have never won here, it's really disappointing. The track has been reprofiled, and I do believe that it should relatively fit us. I do find it it's one of my favorite tracks. It has a great flow. Obviously, have not just walked it. I also went on a bicycle. There at the Yas Marina circuit. Many times, which is actually gives you really get a feel of the 5.5 kilometers. And of course, I raced the F3000 cars. You can definitely check it out. On the YouTube channel, we have lots of videos over here from the Yas Marina circuit, as well as the circuit that we've most visited. Obviously, to the Barcelona circuit, we've only been there once to race the Ferrari cars. We raced the real Formula here, and yeah, it was one of the highlights. Obviously, I greatly enjoyed it, and found it actually very easy because it handles exactly like a simulator, and the G-forces were not such a big problem. So hey, if we are not winning, they should definitely hire me as the 10th Scuderia Ferrari world champion, to drive these beautiful scarlet cars. Of course, we've also visited Monaco and Singapore, but these are street circuits, that you cannot really easily, race on, especially in that given configuration, unless you are a real Formula 1 driver. So I think we will be driving with the SF1000T in 1.8 Formula 1 racing simulator. Great technology. Great technology is also the Scuderia Red Retina iMac, so we can turn it around and see just how successful or not we were over here at the Yas Marina circuit. So are you guys ready? Of course you are, as we will be aiming, to finally lift the shiny golden Formula 1 Grand Prix winning trophies. I cannot believe that we are winless, obviously, over here. But sometimes that season obviously doesn't turn out the way that you would want it to turn out. So let's take a look over here, how exactly it looks like, as we can turn the Scuderia Red Retina iMac around at our home sweet home. And you can see obviously the track being reprofiled. So here is the start-finish straight. You can also obviously, we've seen the Formula 1 Grand Prix from this location over here when Nico Rosberg was fighting for the championships. We said here at the grandstand, and you go to the turn 1. Obviously, you can see how short the run-up is. So especially for the title decider, again, the 2025-2025 season is a qualifying season, and here the pole position will be definitely absolutely crucial, because obviously if you do not qualify on the pole position, it will just be really difficult, I would say, to claim that place heading into turn 1. And then here is the Abu Dhabi Hill featuring the cheapest ticket. So you go then turns 2, 3, and 4. They are really fast, long sweeping left and right handers. So 4, 5, 6, 7 gear. And then obviously in this turn 5, the championship has been decided between Hamilton and Verstappen on the last lap in 2021-2021. This is a good overtaking opportunity, but obviously it's only good if the driver in front of you doesn't close the door to the inside, because then you have to go on the outside, but the track narrows down, right? So you would then have to drive around your opponent as you go down the first DRS zone. Then here, great opportunity. I usually find it not so difficult to overtake. One of the reasons why sometimes it's not so easy to overtake to turn 6, 7, and 8 is because the track narrows down, as you can see here, over here a little bit. So when you narrow down the track, you don't then give the drivers obviously so many choices of the racing line, right? So that's one of the reasons. But yeah, then the 8th gear, obviously you can see some of the roads over here that lead over the Yas Marina circuit, where obviously You can go directly to the Jasvicero Hotel, now known as the W Hotel. We definitely recommend their swimming pools. It's a really nice resort. The fact that you also have the water park around, right? The go-karts, the Ferrari World. Obviously, the title last time was decided right in front of the Ferrari World over here. So, you can go to the Yas kart or the Ferrari World behind it, even though the distances are obviously quite some marching. Then if you want to drive the 3000 car, then you have to go over here. It is on that second kind of the long straight where you can have that second DRS zone. There are many different configurations of the Yas Marina circuit, so you definitely, and usually you would basically just go around on this shorter part of the circuit, but yeah, it is pretty nice still, when you race it, but obviously, that then allows sometimes the Yas Marina circuit to run like the two different circuits and, have the different cars, and yeah, again, great place. But when you are racing it over here, this is the reprofile zone, so no more the chicane in front of the yachts, turn 9, right, as it is known. And yeah, it does allow you the opportunity to overtake. It's really long though, and yeah, you just have to be patient on the throttle. You will be doing 5th, 6th gear. It's easy to spin the car around. The curb is very high at the turn 10, so yeah, you have to really also watch that, right? You don't want to be disqualified for the playing wear. Just ask us and the orange team. And then you heading to obviously the turns 11. The turn 11 over here is one of my specialties. Obviously, you will be turning the wheel, then downshifting very, very hard over here as you enter the hotel section. And that hotel section has been reprofiled too, so you can basically take the 4th gear, and it's all about the throttle application. Just how much throttle you can put out. It actually, you will be doing very low revs, not the higher revs over here. Otherwise, you could spin like somebody did when we had that racing experience, and of course. Then they had to, it took like half an hour, to recover the car there, obviously. And yeah, we stayed, we had the marina view, we stayed behind as well. And yeah, it's a great place, especially it features that sky bridge, so you can actually see the Formula 1 cars going right beneath you. You can also see them from the 2 swimming pools, so there will be some wonderful scenery happening as we will have either one of the 2 new champions or a 5-time champion. We definitely hope not. Turns 15 and 16 over here, very quick, leading onto the main straight, and then obviously there's that pit lane here. Yeah, the turn 16 is really, it's not an enjoyable turn because obviously you go 7th gear, 3rd gear, it kind of, yeah, it's difficult to get it right, but again, it's a hardly overtaking opportunity, even though when we watched the race, the Ferraris, they overtook right up here onto the main straight, and then you have the pit lane, obviously, which also goes beneath it, so lots of things you have to watch out. It's a challenging circuit, but I always find it a lot of fun to drive. And as you can see, we will have 300 kilometers of the race action, 58 laps, and that's very important. Remember what happened in 2021, Kevin Magnussen having the lap record, so that is very likely to fall as the teams are getting faster and faster. And look at this scenery, really, it's like they say, the Arabian 1001 night. We also stayed, this is that kind of the second section, like we have the marina, this is that sky bridge, so definitely, we do recommend, you try it, especially, there's a lot of testing happening, and when you can see it, it really looks great. You can try to see just how quick you are. You are looking at the car and then have to kind of do a short burst, short rush to the other side, and then see the car come out. But yeah, if you stay at the the hotel here at Abu Dhabi, the best rooms would be here to this section, I do believe, and from there you can also see the Ferrari World, and hopefully you can see the Ferrari victory. As you can see, no victories, no pole positions as well, but 3 fastest laps, courtesy obviously of multiple champions Alonso and Vettel. 11 podiums, including the one last year, and you can see how critical it is, right? Because we obviously, with Sainz, we lost to Norris, in that 2024 race, and if Sainz was the first winner here at Abu Dhabi, we would have been the Constructors' Champions, which I believe we deserve for the last season, definitely not this season, so a real pity, with that, but you can see that, we are relatively good at getting the podiums. Listen, we gotta go for a victory, for us as Scuderia Ferrari, this is absolutely imperative. We do not want to have the winless season, and I think that would provide a great motivation obviously for the winter break and then heading into the new regulations. But most important thing right now, what it is to make sure that the 2026 car is the cream of the top. And just like when we started the ground effect era, that we started with the resounding victory, right? But not in Bahrain, in Australia, I believe we will start once again. So yeah, Ferrari stands a lot to be desired, to be honest, over here. But yeah, it would be great to see, in the worst case, then Hamilton on the podium. But yeah, definitely we do not want to get just the 4 points. So yeah, this is about the circuit, and these are now the competitors that we will be competing against here at the Yes Marina circuit, the 2025 Drivers' Championship. This is how it looks like, and of course, just like Hamilton, he didn't even care who won the Qatar race. That's a great attitude. Who cares about these losers? But anyways, of course, for us, as Scuderia Ferrari, we actually do care a lot. When you are the Ferrari's biggest fan, Michael Schumacher has won the Formula One World Championship 5 times in a row. Nobody's achieved that. We see that Fangio winning 5 times, but not in a row. Hamilton winning 7 titles, but only winning 4 in a row. Now, you have, and then you don't have anybody else who has won 5 titles, right? Only Vettel, Prost, Verstappen on 4. Then Vettel with Verstappen have won 4 in a row. Prost obviously not. So this record of Michael Schumacher, I really hope, especially Lando Norris, but also Oscar Piastri, they gotta win. If any of them wins, even Piastri, then Verstappen will not be a champion. And we would really be grateful for it, even though McLaren obviously being historically our biggest nemesis. But yeah, we will be supporting them. Over here, Lando Norris leading with 408 points. Let me know in the comments below, can he be the champion? Listen, he might be a little bit, not so strong maybe mentally, but I think he has the sheer pace. He hasn't won F2 and F3 championship, but so hasn't Verstappen, unlike PS3, for example. And it would be nice, obviously he's the driver who has contested the most races for McLaren, and it would be nice to see, him win even in this unfashionable orange colors. He's 12 points ahead of Verstappen. So as things stand, they all won 7 races, right? So, on the countdown, we would have to go to the second place. That's where Norris has a significant advantage, I think 7 or 8 places compared to Verstappen's and Piastri's 5 and 3 respectively. So, whoever wins, I think would win 8 times, and it should go for a victory. However, for Norris, victory, second place, third place guarantees the championship. For Verstappen, if he wants to equal Michael Schumacher's record, I'll be really pissed off about this. Really angry, not break the red retina iMac, but the TV. I really dislike him. I don't think he would be the right champion. Obviously, we have to think about a lot of the cheating that he's done. Yes, sure, yeah, okay, you think he's a great driver, but he has a very weak the teammates, unlike 2015, 2018. Was he considered such an amazing talent when he was on the pace with Sainz and Ricciardo? No, right? Now, obviously, it's looking rosy for him, but it's really, Verstappen Red Bull Racing, not Red Bull Racing, right? So, yeah, he's on 396 points, right? Luckily, still in that position. If he wins, he will break my record in that 2016-2016 season when I came back from being actually, over 70 points down in the championship. He's been, I think, 104 points down. For him, if he wins, Norris has to finish outside of the podium and then he's champion. It's that simple. For Piastri, he's on 392 points, so he's 16 points behind Norris. If he wins, automatically he will finish ahead of Verstappen by at least 3 points. And if Norris finishes 6th, then Piastri is a champion, which would complete his collection of the F3, F2, and F1 titles. If Norris will finish 5th, Piastri 1st, Piastri is the champion. Obviously, once you get to the second places, Norris, it guarantees the championship. For Verstappen over here, if he gets the second place, then obviously he needs Norris to score 12 points less. So Norris would have to finish 7th. If Verstappen is 2nd, Norris is 6th, then he will not be a champion. But if it also depends, if Piastri wins, in that case, then Piastri is champion. So quite interesting. And obviously, here for example, Verstappen, not finishing on a podium automatically means he won't be a champion. And for Piastri, actually, finishing 3rd, means automatically he won't be a champion. So this is how it is. So it will be interesting. But actually, I think that it will be interesting, right, to see if the other teams, including us or Mercedes-Benz, if they will play a role. Because imagine, if Norris or Piastri or God forbid Verstappen puts it on pole, but you have, let's say, George Russell or Charles Leclerc, or maybe even Hamilton or Antonelli second, third, fourth, fifth, and splitting these, that could be a big help. So I think probably whoever wins will be a champion. But we will be supporting McLaren for the first time ever. I cannot believe, just like in 2021, 2021, when we had to support Verstappen, for the first time ever, and the only time in history to keep Michael Schumacher's record intact. It's again with the Abu Dhabi, the Yas Marina circuit, and I believe, in the 2012, his final race, Michael's final race, I believe it was that, or 2011, when basically, Liuzzi from the Force India, went very, very close, when basically right almost into the cockpit, could have killed Michael there. I believe the Yas Marina circuit with the Ferrari will protect his record like it protect his life when he had a nasty accident that old chicane leading into that turn 5 with that Force India, over a decade ago. So George Russell is 4th, Mercedes 309 points, Charles Leclerc 5th, Ferrari, he will finish there 230 points, 6th Lewis Hamilton, Ferrari 152 points. He cannot get outscored by more than 2 points by Antonelli. If he gets outscored by 2 points by Antonelli, who's now 7th for Mercedes, 150 points, he will finish 6th because he has finished on the podium a couple of times, and Hamilton still hasn't, so he has that breakdown. 8 is then Alexander Albon Williams, 73 points. 9 Carlos Sainz Williams, 64 points. Another podium pretty much guarantees that the Williamses will finish 8 and 9, and I think in this order as well. 10 Isaac Hadjar, probably the new Red Bull racing driver for Racing Bulls, 51 points. I think he will ensure that he will finish in the top 10 on decent form. 11 Nico Hülkenberg, Kick Sauber, 49 points. 12 Fernando Alonso, Aston Martin, 48 points. Of course, Alonso will be giving it his best to finish in the top 10. 13 is then we have Oliver Behrman Haas, 41 points. 15 Liam Lawson Racing Bulls, 38 points. 16 Yuki Tsunoda, probably waving goodbye to F1 Red Bull Racing, 33 points. Can he outscore Lawson? I believe he won't be able to. 16 Esteban Ocon, Haas, 32 points. 17 Lance Stroll Aston Martin, 32 points. 18 Pierre Gasly Alpine, 22 points. 19 Gabriel Bortoleto Kick Sauber, 19 points, kind of stalled after promising start to the second half of the season. 28 Franco Colapinto Alpine, 0 points, and 21st Jack Doohan Alpine, 0 points. Can Colapinto get a point? Well, let's hope he doesn't cause a safety car on the 54th lap. So over here, let's go to the constructor standing for the 2025-2025 season. McLaren has won it. They have 800 nice points over there. Congratulations to them. Second, Mercedes, 459 points. Red Bull Racing, 426 points. But even if Verstappen wins, unless Tsunoda is also there, at least in the top 5, Red Bull Racing cannot overhaul Mercedes. So it's kind of decided we will finish 4th. There's nothing we can do about it. Even if we've gotten a 1-2 and both DNFs from the Red Bull, we will finish point behind. At the moment, we are 4th with 382 points. 5th, Williams, 137 points. They will stay there. 6 Racing Bulls, 92 points. I think they will stay there. 7 Aston Martin, 80 points. There could still be a fight. 8 Haas, 73 points. Magnussen has gotten the fastest lap here last time out, so Haas could be very strong over here. 9 Kick Sauber, 68 points. They also have an outside chance to improve to 8 or 7. And a lot of prize money there, right? Over $10 million. So the teams will definitely be going for it. 10 Alpine, 22 points. They are guaranteed to be the bottom and will be replaced by Cadillac at the bottom, I believe, when Cadillac enters in 2026. So that was the constructors. Now you know everything about the drivers' fight. You see, we are Ferrari's biggest fans and we are so great and mad. So, if I would be driving, fighting for a championship, I would know what to do, when to crash out. Then Red Bull man, let's go orange losers. Don't make any mistakes and get him out of the championship. So Michael Schumacher will be the only one who has won the 5 successive titles. Yes, I have a lot of passion inside of me. So now you know everything about this circuit. It will be stressful 3 days for us, I have to admit. But this is what Formula 1 is all about, and hopefully it will be enjoyable race. Even though I think it might resemble the 2021-2021 race, where you will probably have McLaren's dominating sadly up front, but I really hope we will be in the fight for it. And if Ferraris or Mercedes or others win, that pretty much guarantees Norris the title, because again both Verstappen and Piastri, they need to be on the podium to win the championship, right? So keep that in mind. As for me, as I said, I've always won here ever since 2010 when I destroyed my illustrious teammate Alonso. Yes, that calf almost, made it. And yeah, 2016, I was doing really well, but yeah, 2017, 2023. These two races I've just beaten 4-time champion Vettel and obviously 7-time champion Hamilton. So my advantage kind of been eroding in the races, but I've always planted it on a pole position. Had a couple of really tough sessions when I had to do it on the final lap. But I'm a champion. This is our second home sweet home, and just like in Monza, it gives me the extra powers, especially in the great fashion. So always on a pole, always fastest laps, always victory. 4 of them. Let's make it 5-star, because the only driver who has won 5 titles in a row is Michael Schumacher, my biggest hero, and it will be Jan the Smiling Sun champion, right? Of course. So everybody, we hope you enjoyed this special introduction to the Marina Grand Prix, or the so-called Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the Marina circuit, I should say. I'm Ferrari's biggest fan. I cannot wait to see, the new champion, the world champion that we will have. And yeah, let's enjoy the racing before the winter break. Hope you enjoyed the race introductions. Let me know how you like them. And now, everybody, let's buckle down. Let's go into the cockpit and let's chase these championships for